Hi, Priscilla. Hi, Sister Louise. Hello, Abigail. Hello, Sister Adeshola. Hello, Jess. Rachel Miller. Good evening. Good evening. I hope you're all well. Unmute yourself, guys. Let's get talking. Find out how you all are. Hi, Daryl. Good evening.
Great evening. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Day to you, my dear.
Wonderful. Good to see you. This is the place to be. Good evening, everybody.
Evening.
Good evening, Priscilla. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Good. So we're gonna let more people in. Wow, you guys have joined even before the time. Good evening, Dr. Liana.
The early bird catches the worm.
Good evening, Dr. Destiny Liana. How are you doing?
Blessing, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. It sounded a bit low, but I can hear you better. Do you want to speak and let's hear?
No, I was just saying hi, but you weren't responding before, so I was just checking that you could hear me.
No, I couldn't hear then. I can hear you now, though.
Okay, good.
Wonderful. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm well by God's grace. How are you?
I am doing well, thank you. Did you
Good.
go to work today? Did you save lives today?
I'm tired, Blessing. I'm tired. I need a holiday.
Well, no one's going anywhere, my dear. Oh, good evening, everybody who's joined us. Good evening, Sister Ronke. Good evening. Good evening.
Evening. Blessing, can you hear me well?
Yes, Priscilla, I can hear you perfectly.
Thank you.
I can hear you perfectly. Good evening, Adeshina. Good evening. I'm just sending the link to others, if you don't mind. Good evening, everybody. Okay, good evening. Can you all hear the piano music going on? Annette is serenading us with some...
Relaxing you all for an amazing night.
I actually find piano music does calm me down.
Play a bit more, a bit louder.
You know what? My phone won't go any louder than this, unfortunately. I need to invest in some new technology.
No problem at all. No problem. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Ayobola. Good evening, sis. Good evening, Sister Victoria. Good evening, Adam. Good to have you. Good to see you. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all doing well for the new year. Please. Just give us a few more minutes. We'll just wait for a few more people to we just want to admit a few more people as they are in the waiting room. Okay, fantastic. And we'll get started very, very soon. If you don't have a cup of tea or coffee or something hot to drink, feel free to grab something as we are about to get started. Okay. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so everybody, good evening. It's such a pleasure to see all you amazing people on this Wednesday evening. We are here for the book launch of How to Save £10,000 on a Low Income. And that's where everybody unmutes themselves and say, hooray!
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 Fantastic, fantastic. Excellent, excellent. Wonderful. I mean, this is the place to be. Where else do you want to be on a Wednesday evening? It's cold outside, it's wet, and yet we can feel joyful because Annette has brought to us a book that is a game changer. I mean, you're going to hear everything about her motivation for writing this book. You're going to hear readings about this book. You're going to hear some testimonials about this book. But just to say, I had the great pleasure of actually being able to proofread the book, and I was blown away. Literally, I finished reading that book and I said, wow, I did not know that it was so easy to save £10,000. I was thinking to myself, where was Annette when I was making my big bucks? Why did I not know her then? And for you guys, you don't have to regret, because tonight she's going to demystify it. She's going to explain to you how it is that she was able to save £10,000 on a low income. So before I invite Annette to come and speak with you, I want every single body to please go on Amazon, and we're going to purchase a book. A copy of the book. If you don't have a copy, in fact, I'm going to ask Annette to just stick the book link into the chat, please, because I don't want to stop my presentation. I'm about to get my copy now. If you don't have a copy, get your copy, because she's going to be talking to us about her motivation for writing this book. And we are here to support her. We want everybody to have a copy. And thank you, Carol. Carol said, don't just get a copy, 2 copies. She already got 2 copies. Yes, fantastic. There's the link. Don't order yours today, Dr. Liana. Order it now. Order it now. I'm going to order now, and everybody who's ordered, please put in the chat done or ordered. I want every single person who is on this call to order and put it in the chat, done. Or if you can, send us a screenshot, please. Okay, so I'm not going to take much of your time. We want to speak to the woman of the hour. Her name is Annette Galloway. She is the author of How to Save £10,000, £10,000 on a low income. I mean, what can I tell you about Annette? She's such an inspiration. God is so good. I met Annette over five or 6 years ago, and our journey has been long. But for me to see her transformation, for me to see how she's evolved from where she was to someone who is an author, a self-published author, to someone who is making an impact in the lives of people. Because of her, many people are saving, many people are investing, and now she doesn't only want to limit it to the people in her circle. She's written this book so that it can go all over the world. And so tonight, ladies and gentlemen, please unmute yourself, please show your face, and let's give a big clap to Annette, and let's congratulate her for writing this book. Woo, 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 woo. Come on, show her some love. Show her some
Thank you,
love.
guys. Thank you for the amazing introduction, Blessing. Thank you so
Well
much.
done,
Much
Annette. Well
appreciated.
done.
Amazing. Well done.
Amazing,
Well
well
done.
done,
Well
Annette.
done. Many congratulations. So,
Congrats.
I'll
so
just go to my screen then and just share with you a bit about how I was managed to put such a book together. So just bear with me one moment. Can everybody see my screen?
yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
fantastic.
we
can. So thank you all for coming today and sacrificing your evening. I know there's plenty of other places you could be, but today I trust you will all be empowered with a level of financial literacy. So this book reflects more than a decade worth of money management. So I've always been fantastic at money management, partly because my mum got herself into debt when I was 9 years old. She took out 2 TVs and 2 mattresses. Sorry, can we mute everyone? Is that okay?
Yeah, and I'm going to mute everybody.
Thank you. Yeah, so
You need to
I
unmute
think Annette is
yourself,
muted
please,
as well.
You need to unmute the host, Blessing.
I think Annette can just unmute herself. I'll still unmute.
Annette, unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm unmuted now, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So yes, my mum got herself into debt in the 1990s over 2 mattresses and 2 TVs. It totaled £600. And to be honest, I was quite horrified, embarrassed as a young child, and I told myself that I would never ever get myself into debt myself. So to this day, no matter what I've earned, my money story is positive. That's quite important, guys. You've got to tell yourself a positive money story. Mine was, no matter how much I earn, I'll never be in debt. I'll always have thousands of pounds. And guess what happened? No matter what I earned, I've always had thousands of pounds in savings. I've always been in a position to invest. My issue was that I didn't know how to invest, where to invest, what to invest in. There were no investors in my family, no investors in my community, but nonetheless, at the tender age of 23, I took myself over to Peckham, Halifax branch, and I set up my own investment. It must have been an investment ISA. I didn't have a clue what it was. And I was putting away £500 a month. And after a year, nothing was really happening on the account. The guy was quite young as well, so I presume inexperienced. And then I stopped investing because the investment wasn't even performing that well. It wasn't even beating the average savings rate at the time, which was about 3%. So I decided to just forget about investing. And instead, I just concentrated on saving. But I knew a day would come when I'd feel confident to invest. And I'm pleased to say that that day has come, and my investments now, they're effortlessly performing over the rate of 20%. It's a lot higher than that, but I don't want to say the amount just because investment rates fluctuate, and it's partly the reason why it's doing so well is because I bought a particular stock that's had huge growth. So my portfolio is doing a lot. It's not really proportional to the rest. So my average portfolio does about 20%, but this stock I'm talking about did a 96% return. I mean, what savings rate is capable of doing that? The stock is Tesla. If you're all, but don't go invest in it, do your research and whatever, but it's been a little diamond for me. So the goal today then is to get you to the point where you can manage your money well so that you can then become an investor, because investing is where financial freedom resides. But you need to, in order to invest, you need good financial literacy and you need financial expertise behind you as well, which is why I work with a financial advisor. So guys, the goal then, the vision is to get 100,000 people building wealth, saving money consistently, killing debt. In my book, I talk of killing debt, not eliminating debt, killing debt, because that is what's destroying your wealth building capacity. And building your net worth, so tracking your net worth, making sure it's going up each month. You know, when you pay down your debt, you're actually building up your net worth. And then investing, because investing is where financial freedom resides. So I'm just going to go on to the next slide. So guys, these are the statistics we are currently dealing with. So 1 in 4 adults have no cash savings whatsoever. So this is a respectable source. This is the Guardian newspaper. And according to the Office of National Statistics, 12.7 million, not 1,000, million households have debt. So that means there are vulnerable families out there right now. So perhaps 2-parent homes, 1-parent homes with children that are financially vulnerable. And this is all because of poor money management and the fact that financial literacy is not sufficiently taught in schools. And I'm sure you would all agree with that, that you wasn't given sufficient financial literacy either at school, university, or even at work. So I hope this book can plug that gap. So like I said, there's a huge debt problem in the UK. And there's the vision, 100,000 people paying down debt, saving money consistently, and then learning how to invest. So guys, I'm trusting that once you've read this book, you will all get results similar to mine. And like I said, my results are that now I'm confidently investing and my return is easily getting 20%. And by the end of this year, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a plus 50%. And that's not me trying to sell anything grand or fancy. It's because I'm quite adventurous with my with the investments that I choose, just because I'm quite confident and sure of them. So guys, this book then, in order to get you to become a wealth builder, it will encourage you to save consistently. It will show you how to build your net worth. It will help you improve your credit score. This is quite important, especially when you're trying to get like loans, especially for mortgages. You need an excellent credit score because you'll get better deals. So it's quite important to have a good credit score. It will show you payday debt pay down methods and give you practical pictures that you can use just to demonstrate demonstrate the impact of debt in your life. It will show you how to set a financial goal, literally break it down for you. And this is what I use to set goals. And then there's several wealth building exercises that will really just build on what you're being taught in the book. So I'm going to pass you back over to Blessing now, who will introduce the lovely Priscilla.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Annette. And just to say, I've got my copy of the book now. I can see a message from Amazon saying, thank you, your order has been placed. As Annette was talking about her book, I used the opportunity to order my book. So, Annette, thank you. I hope everybody who has just joined us has ordered their copy. If not, we will put the link again in the chat. Please don't say, I'm going to wait till the end. Just get your book now and write done. Yeah? Done will tell me, will tell Carol, will tell Annette that you've got your copy. Annette, thank you so much. I mean, like I said, this book is a game changer. It's a life changer. You will see how easy it is to save £10,000. And so, Annette, we just want to applaud you for taking your time to sit down to get the years of experience that you've got on paper. This book is going to change your life. If you've been struggling with saving, if you are still in debt, this is the book you need. And so now it gives me great pleasure to invite our very lovely Priscilla. I'm just going to share my screen so that you can see a little bit about Priscilla and talk to you about who she is and exactly what she's going to impart onto us. So let me share my screen. Okay. So let's put this on this. Oops. Can you see my screen, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Blessing.
Okay, fantastic. So Priscilla is about to share. She is going to do a spoken word. And who is Priscilla? She's an author, she's a poet, and she's a founder. And her spoken word is going to be on the topic of money. Who is Priscilla? She is the founder of Lelato Development Organization, which has offered consultancy and advisory services for rural development, promoted girl, child education, and women empowerment. She's currently working with 3 organizations, advising and consulting for them. Among the organizations being advised is the Community Youth Concern of Zambia. So everybody, if you can unmute yourself or give an electronic clap, let's clap for Priscilla as she gives us a spoken word called money. Thank you. Woo!
Yay! Hi, everyone. Hi, Blessing. Thank you for that introduction. And hey, Annette, the star of the night, what can I say?
Thank
I actually
you.
have a copy of her book, and everybody hurry, 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 because you do need that book. It's a life-changing book, and your finances will never be the same. So here we go. The poem I'm going to say today is titled Money, and this is special for Annette. It's just been written for her night. So, hey.
Thank you, Priscilla.
So, here we go. Yes, money. Money does not grow on trees. Come, now, come, let's talk money. Why shy you away? Now, come, let's talk money. Money doesn't change you. No. Money brings out the real you out of hiding. So come now, come. Let's talk money. Let's talk about Let's talk money. Let's talk about money. About debt, snowball. Let's talk about your mindset. Yes, your mindset. Let's talk about your money limiting beliefs. Let's talk about money principles. Let's talk about overcoming debt. Let's talk money. Let's improve your credit score. Let's build your net worth. Come now, come. Yes, you, come. Let's talk money. Come, learn how to clear your debt. Get yourself empowered. Come now, come, come, come. Let's talk money. Learn about compound interest. Come now, come. Learn how to invest. Let's talk money. Let's become investors. Oh, yes. Move from savers to investors. That's right. We know it's not traditional. Oh, no. It's not the way it's done, but let's talk money. Now feel I like a child that holds a trumpet without a care or worry in the world. Afraid I, no longer am I. To walk through my door of financial literacy. Oh, come now, come. Let's talk money. Money gives you options. Come now, come. Yes, you, come. Let's talk money. Thank you. Hope you all enjoyed
Thank
that.
you so much, Priscilla. That was beautiful.
Wow. That was so
Thank you,
lovely.
Priscilla.
I'll be dreaming of that tonight. Let's talk money. Thank you. That was amazing. Thank you. So, my goodness, let me share my screen so you can see the next person we're going to hear from. And I mean, this wonderful lady, young lady, you're going to see who she is as I share my screen. Can you all see the lovely smile of Dr. Leanne Armitage? My goodness, what can I say? What can I say about her? Sorry, my apologies for the noise in the background. Dr. Liana, let me tell you a little bit. Dr. Liana is a first-year junior doctor at Medway Hospital. She's a multi-award winning leader, inspirational speaker, and co-founder at the Armitage Foundation, a charity committed to increasing diversity across UK medical schools. She has won several awards, such as We Are the City Rising Stars Award, Trade Female Trailblazer, and my goodness, and a LinkedIn award. She's won too many awards. I can't even remember them all. Her ultimate passion in life is to inspire people to be the best version of themselves. And she does this primarily through public speaking engagements. Today, she speaks on mindset and good habits in keeping wealth. She managed to hold on to and save thousands while spending 6 years studying as a junior doctor. Part of this journey involved living at home rather than living in student accommodation. She also worked as a lifeguard while she was a medical student to bring in an income. I mean, at her age, I was earning money and I was burning money. But at her age, she has managed to hold on to money. And so she's going to share with us her testimonial about her sister, Annette, because her sister taught her the financial principles she knows. All I can say is, I wish Annette was my sister when I was growing up. I wish I knew her like Dr. Liana when I was growing up, because by now I too will have thousands of pounds. So Dr. Liana, we really salute you because you've managed to listen to your sister and you've got so much wealth as a result. Please tell us, share your testimony about your lovely sister and talk to us about mindset. Everybody, unmute yourself. Let's show some love to Dr. Leanne Armitage, please. Woo! Woo!
Hello, welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you for the introduction, Blessing. That was really kind of you. And I definitely have to give credit to Annette.
Sorry, can we unmute someone?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm going to mute all, and then Dr. Liana, just unmute yourself, please.
Okay, can you hear me, Blessing?
Yes.
So I was just saying thank you for that introduction, and I definitely have to give credit to Annette. She is like, I am like a product of all of her investment, both in terms of finances and many other areas. So I'm grateful to have been gifted in it as a sister. So I've got a presentation. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, let me put it in presentation mode. Just give me a second. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to talk about my money mindset. I think in life, everything is linked to mindset, you know? The thoughts that we think determine our actions, which determine our habits, which determine our results. And concerning money, there are specific kind of principles that I try to live by, which have been helping me thus far, and I believe they'll continue to help me into the future. So I'll start by talking about how I managed money as a student. I've spent most of my life as a student. I only graduated last year and started working as a doctor from August. So I'm very much a newbie into the scene of work and getting a regular income. And so managing money as a student was really important for me, especially because, as was said, I was at medical school for 6 years, which is a long time. And as a young lady, you kind of develop and grow over those years, and the things that you want to spend money on change and evolve. So I had to be cautious with how I was spending money. So as was said, I was a lifeguard while I was at medical school, which was really helpful because I was on a 0-hour contract, which meant I could kind of pick up shifts as and when I needed. And in addition to that, being a lifeguard meant that I had free gym membership. And that was super helpful because anybody who knows me knows that I'm a gym bud. I absolutely love the gym. And so having membership for free was definitely something that it was worth about £45 a month. So that took away an expense for me, which was really helpful. In addition to that, as was already said, I lived at home for the entire duration of my medical studies, which was challenging at times because sometimes my hospital placements would be about an hour and a half away. I remember once I was on a surgery placement, and surgeons like to start work early at about 8 a.m. So I was leaving the house sometimes at like 5:45 or 6 and waking up at crazy hours to get to placements on time. And in total, I could spend about 3 hours commuting a day. And in my final year of medical school, I was finding that challenging, and living at home, I was finding a bit challenging as well, just in terms of being able to focus. But I was thinking about my long-term goal, and I was thinking about the fact that, look, when I graduate and become a doctor, I'll be able to live alone then, and, you know, it'll be worth saving the money that I'm saving now. And I did it, and I don't regret that. In addition to that, I always spent within my means. So like, to give you an example of this, I would buy a SIM-only contract and then buy the phone separately. And my SIM-only contract would be like £14 a month for unlimited minutes, unlimited text. And then the phones I would buy would always be the older model of the iPhone. Like, if I'm honest with you, I only recently got the iPhone 11. Before that, I was on the iPhone 6. And people would like make jokes. I remember once I was on a medical placement and the consultant was like, "Cool, what is this, a dinosaur? Treat yourself, Leanne, get a better phone." And even one of the other doctors at my current hospital now was like, "Oh, they're not paying you enough." But I just think in life, guys, you know, we have to weigh things up. I've always had the mindset that I will never put myself in debt or spend money on things that are not a necessity if I can get by with something else. And I'm not a stingy person in the sense that I'm very happy to invest money in what I think is worth me investing money in. So for example, when it comes to my academics, I'd be more than willing to spend hundreds of pounds on courses or other things that would help me get to my vision. But me spending hundreds of pounds on a phone when I can get a cheaper phone that does exactly the same thing, it just didn't make sense to me. So I would take people's jokes and I would just laugh with them and get over it. So I mentioned to you the iPhone story. So yeah, I try to live by the principle of delayed gratification, which in simple terms is that I'm going to sacrifice something now. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I won't be able to have that thing. It's just that I'm delaying having that thing to a later date when it's a lot more affordable for me and it's not causing me stress. So some examples of that is while I was in medical school, I had a MacBook, but it broke. And, you know, I wanted to get another laptop, but in life, you don't like to go backwards, like, right, you like to move forward. So I wanted to get even a better MacBook, but like looking at my finances, it just didn't make sense. So I had to settle for a Lenovo laptop. And you know, it's not as tech savvy, but nonetheless, it did the job. It got me through medical school, and it worked fine for me. And in addition to that, small things I do, like get a tube or a train instead of getting an Uber. I think even though this may seem like a small choice, these things compound. Like I'm sure many of you guys have heard about people who say, you know, don't buy coffees and save that money. And, you know, by the end of the year, you'll have a couple of hundreds of pounds, which you can use for other things. So I just make those small kind of choices, understanding that they're going to have a compounding effect. So now that I'm a doctor, I'm obviously earning a regular income, which means that I can be a little bit more creative in how I manage money, and also means that, you know, I need to be more responsible with my money. So some of the practical things I do now is I follow a budget. So I make sure that I set aside money for rent. I am living alone, which means that I incur more costs. Most junior doctors will flat share, but for me, living alone was important. So it's just having a budget to make sure that I'm managing that well. And so, for example, with food, I'll put money aside for food. I try to spend about 25 to 30 pounds per week on food, you know, and I'm just mindful about where I'm allocating money. I follow the principle of paying myself first. This is something that Annette is always banging on about. And essentially, it's just when you get paid, you put aside a portion for yourself. And I think that's really important. And it's something that I was doing whilst I was at medical school as well. You know, trying to save at least 10% of anything I'd get. So even as a student, you don't necessarily get a regular income, but you do get money here and there, and just putting a little bit aside. I have an emergency fund in place. I'm the kind of person, I don't like stress. So I'm very much willing to do all of the wise things I can do within my power to minimize stress in my life. And having an emergency fund is part of that. So, you know, my emergency fund has a couple of thousands of pounds in it, and I'll just never touch that, because you never know when life can chuck curveballs at you. I even remember at medical school once, I went to the dentist and I had an issue with one of my teeth, and trying to get it sorted out on the NHS was just really long-winded. So, you know, I had to pay, and I paid from my emergency fund. And, you know, for a student, it was quite a lot of money, but because I had that in place, I was protected. And as I said, sometimes life chucks curveballs at you. So it's really important that you have, you know, money set aside in case there's a rainy day or in case something unexpected happens. I think life is to be enjoyed as well. So I also set aside money for leisure. You know, some people get so obsessed with money that they're just trying to stack it. But it's not just about that. It's about enjoying life as well. Life is bigger than money. And sometimes we have to be willing to part with money just so that we can experience the beauty of life and enjoy it. I'm also investing, and this is definitely because of Annette's input in my life. She's introduced me to the world of investing, and I started investing this year. I've got another slide, I think it's the next slide, specifically on the different areas that I'm investing, which I can share with you. And I'm making sacrifices. You know, these principles as well, they link to other aspects of life, and sacrifices is important in all aspects of life. And for me personally, as I said, living alone was very important for me. I absolutely love living alone. I plan to live alone until I get married. But one of the sacrifices I needed to make to live alone in this year of my life, because I've just started as a junior doctor, you know, my salary's fine, but it's not amazing. And so I knew that it wouldn't be wise for me to live alone and to have a car. And so I sacrificed having a car this year so that I can live alone. And just to make that like more practical and tangible and feasible for me, I just made sure that where I'm renting now is close to the hospital, is close to the gym, is close to the supermarket, is close to all of the things that I would need to have access to on a daily basis, walking distance in fact. So I'm not even really having to spend that much money on transport. So that was just a practical sacrifice I made so that I'm meeting my desires, but also staying within my budget and not causing myself any debt. Consistency. You know, as I said, we are humans, we're creatures of habit, and it's really important that you develop these habits, have a money mindset where you're exercising healthy habits and you're consistent with those. Because unless you're consistent, you're not going to achieve your goals. You could do great for a month, but if you subside after a month, then you're going to go backwards. So you have to have goals and have habits in place that are habits you can follow through with and that you can stay consistent with. And Annette's book will definitely teach you some of those great habits that you can have. So in terms of my, I believe in multiple streams of income. In simple terms, multiple streams of income is important because if one fails, you've got something else to fall back on. So at the moment, I'm still very much building my multiple streams of income, but just to share some of those with you, my main stream of income comes from being a doctor. I spend most of my life at the hospital at the moment. So that gives me a monthly salary, which is where the bulk of my money is from at the moment. In addition to that, I do public speaking. I recently registered a company, Dr. Armitage Limited. There's my logo. And I get a few paid public speaking opportunities through that. I'm still very much building that, but that is another stream of income. And I've entered the world of investing at the moment. So I'm still relatively a newbie. Annette has been teaching me a lot, but I still have quite a bit to learn. At the moment, I've got a trading 212 account and I'm just buying stocks and shares on that. I've also got an AJ Bell Lisa account where again, you can get funds and other things. I've got the investing account for that. So those are the main things that I'm using at the moment to make money. As I've kind of already said, I think it's important just to kind of repeat this, that yes, we should all be desiring money, but we shouldn't become obsessed over it. I very much believe in the principle of becoming a personal value. When you become a personal value, money will seek after you because people will pay for value. So I think underpinning all of this, we need to have a mindset of developing ourselves as individuals, because as you develop and progress in whatever line of work or passion you have, you know, you can start to capitalize on that and to make money from that. I think in life it's very important to have a why. What I mean by that is a reason that underpins your passion, your motivation, your desire to achieve or attain something. And my financial why I'll share with you now. I absolutely hate poverty. I grew up in quite a deprived area. I grew up in a council estate in Southeast London in a single parent home. And, you know, poverty surrounded me, deprivation surrounded me. And I think one of the things I think is so sad about poverty is the lack of opportunity, you know, not being able to go on a course because you can't afford it, not being able to have access to certain experiences because you can't afford it. I think that's very sad. You know, young people who say get to travel the world, for example, or who get to go to theaters and have all of these amazing experiences, you know, that's cultural capital. Their minds are being expanded. They're being shown the world. And so because they're seeing amazing things, they're believing that amazing things are possible for them. And when you're growing up in an environment where you don't have access to that, you're not seeing that. And so you're not being cultivated in the same manner. And I think that's really sad. And I hate that. And so I want to make money and have a comfortable lifestyle so that I, you know, can have options and have opportunities and be able to give those to others as well. As I said, I want to live a comfortable lifestyle. I've got absolutely no shame in saying that. I want to have a nice house. I want to have a nice car. You know, I want to be able to travel the world. I want to be able to do what I want to do and not be restricted by finances. I want to make sure my kids have a secure future. I want to make sure that they've got access to a good education, that they have those opportunities to travel and to have tutor and all the other things and opportunities that will help give them the best possible life that they can have. I want to be able to impact the world. As was mentioned at the beginning in my introduction, I'm the co-founder of a charity called the Armitage Foundation. It's a charity that's committed to increasing diversity across UK medical schools. At present, 50% of the schools across the UK do not produce a single medical applicant. Most students are coming from very privileged backgrounds, and I think that's wrong. In order for the NHS to provide the most effective healthcare, its medical workforce, its doctors must reflect the population of patients that it's serving, because when patients can relate to their doctors, you know, health outcomes for them will be better. And, you know, as charity, you depend a lot on external funding, on grants, etc. But if I can make my own money and be successful in that, then I don't have to depend on other people, and it gives you more autonomy. And money is power, really. It gives you access to things and helps you to have more influence. And so this, in summary, is my financial why. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to stay connected with me, by all means, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, and feel free to connect, and thank you for listening.
Wow.
Thank
My
you.
goodness. My goodness. I mean, we're getting Annette for the price of one. Annette and Leon for the price of one tonight. I mean, blessed be the womb that gave birth to these two young ladies. What do you say? The
Amen.
wisdom,
Well
the
done, Leanne.
passion, the inspiration. Oh my goodness. Annette, you and your sister, normally we say there are power couples, but you guys are power sisters. Power sisters. I mean, that was amazing. Let's read some of the comments. Someone said, she is so wise. Goodness, money gives you options. I hate poverty too. I mean, Dr. Leanne, that inspirational stuff was amazing. Awesome job. Yep, Power Sisters. Dr. Leanne is amazing. Wow. Literally, I wish when I was your age, like I said, I knew one of you. I'm sure as Dr. Leanne was speaking, a lot of us who are older wish we had this level of wisdom. Listen, you can buy that wisdom tonight. All the years of wisdom that Annette has gathered, that she's imparted to her younger sister, Dr. Leanne, she's put it in this very short book. I read the book in one sitting, and it changed my life because I said, my goodness, it was so easy to save 10,000. And you know, in the book, I'm not going to give much away. I'll just share this. She gives you a plan. Annette gives you a plan of how you can save 10,000 pounds in a few years. I mean, when I saw that, I was thinking, if it was that easy, why did I not know it all this while? So for those of you who don't yet have a copy, I'm posting the link right now. Please buy a copy of how to save 10,000 pounds on a low income. We are being inspired tonight to save so that we can become investors. Annette has had to go through the experience. She's taught it to her younger sister, Dr. Leanne. Dr. Leanne has implemented it and it's working in her life. She mentioned the next stage of her life, preparing for marriage. There are many parents on this call. If there's anybody who knows of a young, handsome man, a young, handsome man who is intelligent, who is hardworking, who's looking for a doctor to marry, tonight an introduction can be made. It doesn't just have to be a book launch, okay? It can be a marriage introduction. I just thought I'll put that in there. And of course, I know now all
you just thought that you were talking today.
I know all the women want to unmute themselves and make their own page, but I just thought I will make that page. But of course, we've got the author herself, Annette Galloway. She's about to come and she's about to give us some further inspiration. So Annette, just to say thank you, well done once again for this book. Those of you who do not have a copy, please, as Annette is talking, get your copy and put it in the chat. Done, so that we know you've got your copy. Over to you, Annette. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Blessing. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
yeah.
fantastic. So Leanne actually summed up a lot of the principles in her presentation. I can assure you guys that the principles do work. I had a testimony from a lady. She earned under 30K. She told me in 9 months she saved nearly £5,000, having not thought she could save a pound because she had no history of savings. And they're really, really simple. I'm going to share some of them with you right now. So, before I give you the principles, I need you to understand that this journey is more about mindset than financial literacy. Leanne had a mindset for wealth creation. She decided she was going to be consistent with saving and make short-term sacrifices for long-term gain, which is why, as a doctor, she's been in the position to be able to invest, whereas most doctors are probably figuring out how to pay back that huge student loan that they've taken on. So guys, today I'm asking you, what does it mean to save? It's a simple question, but a lot of people are not doing it. So why save? What is your why? So here are some of the benefits of saving. So you may want to buy a home. Feel free to tap feel free in the chat to say why you think you want to save. It could be buy a home, travel the world. It could be a safety net. It could be marriage. Leanne wants to get married. Retirement, peace of mind. So what else can you think of? So guys, you need to have an idea of what you want and why you want it. It's no good just saying something, like saying you want to save and not really having a reason behind it. So have a look at these reasons, and can you relate to them, or is it something else for you? So guys, the reason why I've put a target, what are these? Sorry, a dartboard, that's what it is. A dartboard in this picture is because I want you to understand that you need to aim for it. So here, I want everybody to aim for the bullseye, which is you're managing your money well, you're clearing debt, and you're investing your way to financial freedom, at least above 10%. I believe that's a pretty average rate. A lot of you with good financial advice should be able to reach that figure. It's within your reach. I'm no expert. I've worked with experts and I'm getting a decent return on my investments. If I can do it, so can you. And I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Like Leanne said, we was brought up on a council estate by a single parent mother. But you know what? You can't control the cards that are dealt with you, but you can decide, you know, if you're going to change that by the choices you make and the financial literacy that you begin to immerse yourself in. And then if you're willing to take action, you're going to get results and you're going to hit the bullseye, which is financial security. So today I'm asking you, what is the financial vision for your life? Guys, if you don't, you should write this down, because if you don't know the financial vision for your life, how are you going to achieve it? If you don't know what you're aiming for, how are you going to accomplish anything? And then the key question here is, why do you want it? If you can get a passionate, enthusiastic why behind you, you're more likely going to achieve it. And then how will you achieve it? Some of you may need a mentor. Some of you, and you'll hear from Daryl later on, some of you may need a coach. Some of you may want to join the Rapid Wealth Building platform. Some of you will need to read this book. But if you want to get different results, you've got to be willing to do something different. So ask yourself today, what are you going to do today to get different results tomorrow? So the key tip here is know what you want and why, because it will keep you motivated and focused, especially when you get a bit tired and you may be tempted to kind of, you may get a bit demotivated. But if your why is that strong, so my why is I want to be able to send my son to a private school. I mean, if I'm getting a bit haphazard and a bit lazy, I just have to remind myself of my why, and that keeps me motivated and focused. So guys, I'm now going to share with you the 3 top money principles that will literally change your life if you apply them. And they're very, very simple. So number 1, guys, you have to live off less than you earn. And I deliberately put less in bold, because until you can live off less than you earn, you will not have no money to save, and you will not have no money to invest. A lot of people are not living off less than they earn, and that is why 12.7 million households have debt. So the key way to live off less than you earn is through budgeting. And I have a budgeting sheet on my website, www.saverswithas2investors.com. A little pop-up comes up. You can put your email in there and a budgeting sheet will come up. So number 2, you need to pay yourself first. So what does that mean? So just think of the tax man. Before your money goes to you, the tax man takes his cut, whether you like it or not. For some of you, it's 20%. For some of you, it's 40%, and for some of you, it's 45%. So guys, you need to behave like the tax man, and you need to pay yourself first. And this should be at least 10% of your income. I prefer to do 20, 25. Some people are in a position to do even 30, 40, depending on your income. But the higher it is, the quicker you're going to be able to buy your financial freedom and hit the bullseye of financial freedom. And number 3, build a freedom fund, also known as an emergency fund. I believe if you're planning for freedom, you're going to get freedom. But if you're planning for an emergency, you're going to get an emergency. So typically, this should be 3 to 6 months of your income, or at least £1,000. If you don't have a freedom fund, get one in place straight away, because it will protect you from debt. And debt is what we don't want, because the interest rate on debt is just too high, guys. So when you have debt, you're literally throwing your money down the toilet. Literally, you are making Visa and MasterCard rich. You're making the payday loan issuers rich. You're paying for their children's private schools. So you literally have to have a no nonsense attitude to debt. In my book, I share with you 2 debt payday methods. pay down methods. And I also share with you just a picture graphic that I'm going to share with you on this screen as well, just to reinforce the point of how dangerous debt is. So guys, this is an example of the danger of debt. So it's a credit card here, and the person's taking out, let's say Lucy's taking out £3,000 at the rate of 24%. So if Lucy makes the minimum payment on that debt, which is £84 a month, it's going to take her 14 years and 11 months to pay back that debt. And the most ridiculous thing is that the debt's going to cost her £7,367. You can see why I said, in this case, debt is literally like throwing your money down the toilet. This just does not make sense. But guys, if you increase your minimum payment up just by a few pounds, she's increased it to £90, so an extra £6, she will pay it off. Literally, she's knocked off 10 years just by increasing it slightly. It will now take her 4 years and 4 months, and it will cost her £1,637 in interest. So she'll pay back £4,637. So £4,637 is a lot better than 7,367. I'm sure you'd agree. And she just achieved that by increasing the monthly payment by a small amount. Now, if Lucy decides, you know what, I want this debt gone as quickly as possible, it is literally, it's just too expensive and it just doesn't financially make sense. I'm going to increase the payment to £124 a month. She will look half the amount of time it takes her to pay it back. It will be 2 years and 9 months, and it will cost her £981. So guys, minimum payments on debt, you know, it's really important that you pay above the minimum payment, because or else you are literally just throwing your money down the toilet, as the graphic demonstrated. So if anybody does have debt, please review your debt. In the book, there are some exercises regarding debt, such as listing all your debts, writing down the interest rates, and deciding on the method you're going to use to pay down that debt. But please do seek professional help if you need to. You can always do a Google search, and in the book, I've listed some organizations that can help you to clear debt. So guys, this graphic here literally sums up why I do what I do. So remember, saver to investor, okay? The key word is investor. So let's look at these two people. So we've got here Daisy, and she slightly reminds me of Dr. Leanne Armitage, and this is why. So Daisy and Ken both invest £96,000, which is the red figure, yeah? Daisy starts at the tender age of 25, so that's the age Leanne is now. And so she puts down her £96,000, and she's saving just £200 a month. So this is going into her pension pot, £200 a month from the age of 25 to 65. Now, she puts into the investment market and they give her a 5% return. And I'm sure you'd all get a lot higher than that. And when she's 65, she's made £210,476 profit. So way more than she's put in. And her pension pot is worth £306,476. So Daisy's doing fantastic. On retirement, she's really, really happy. So we have Ken here now. So Ken's not as financially literate as Daisy. Perhaps he's a bachelor, or I don't know, perhaps he's just living above his means, or he's having a really good time and he's not really worried about retirement because it's a long way off. Then he gets to his 40s and thinks, do you know what, actually this is quite important, I better start putting some money down. So he's put down £96,000, but because Daisy started earlier, she only had to put down 200. He's putting down £400 a month, and he's getting a 5% return as well on his £96,000. He makes, the purple figure, £69,099. When he is 65, his retirement pot is worth £165,099. It's practically half of Daisy's. Why? Because he just took too long. So they've both put in the same amount of money, but Daisy just had more time on her side. So the key here, guys, is time. The quicker you sort out your finances, your money management, and the quicker you invest, the more money you will have in your pension pot when it comes to retirement age, which is now gone up to 65, guys. By the time I retire in the next 30 plus years, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 70, just because the population is aging. So guys, the quicker you begin to manage your money and invest, the better. So guys, I just want to remind you, on this journey, mindset is everything. There's a guy called Dave Ramsey. He wrote a book called Total Money Makeover. It's a really good book for those of you in debt. And he says literally it's 80% mindset and 20% financial literacy. Most people's finances are not being managed well because their mindset is a bit screwed up. Sorry if that's a bit harsh word, but yeah, their mindset isn't in the right place. So I'm just going to share with you some of the qualities of a rich mindset and a poor mindset. So you may want to make a note of the rich mindset characteristics and begin to put plans in place so that you too can live from this mindset of abundance. So a rich mindset says success is an obligation. A poor mindset would say success is not important. A rich mindset, these people are responsible. Some of a poor mindset will just blame others for their problems. A rich mindset has an attitude of, you know what, I'm going to invest my money. A poor mindset is, oh my gosh, I've got so much money, let me spend it. Rich mindset, they would read and study. Personal development would probably be quite important to them. Poor mindset, they probably haven't read a book since they left school. Rich mindset, they're paying attention to the future, they're goal orientated. Poor mindset, they're living in their past and probably reminiscing on some of the successes they achieved maybe 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Rich mindset, net worth driven. Okay, so it's like, what is my net worth? What am I worth? Poor mindset is income driven. How much money am I earning per year? Rich mindset, they think big. Poor mindset, think small. Rich mindset, they're likely to embrace change. Poor mindset, they fear change. They want everything to remain the same. A rich mindset, it's easy to compliment people. Poor mindset, most likely to criticize people. Rich people, problem solvers. Poor people tend to worry about problems. Rich people, this is key here, guys. They have multiple streams of income. They do not rely upon one income, whereas a poor mindset, they tend to have a single stream of income, which is their Monday to Friday, 9 till 5. And they probably don't even like it. Apparently 85% of people do not like their day job. Rich mindset, goal driven. Poor mindset, work driven. So guys, what mindset can you identify with? And if you are in the rich mindset, fantastic. If your mindset is slightly poor, what do you need to do? What action do you need to take? What goals do you need to set in order to get into the rich mindset? So guys, that's some of the core financial literacy that is in the book, but we take it a notch further and we focus on things such as you know, building net worth and side hustles, etc. So it's a comprehensive perspective of financial literacy. I'm now going to pass you back over to Blessing, who is going to introduce the lovely Barbara onto the call.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Annette. I mean, Annette, you're giving us so much food for thought. It's amazing. Literally, you thought you were just here simply to launch the book, but you're learning, and we are learning the principles that will change our financial future. And it's so apt that we're having this only on day 13 of January 2021. This year, we cannot end the year as we began last year the same way, because Annette is empowering us. She's introduced this book, which is all about teaching us the principles she was able to implement to save thousands of pounds on a low income. Annette, thank you. I'm not getting enough engagement on the platform about those who have bought the book. Carol, you need to count for us and let's name those who have bought the book and thank them. But literally, it's not enough. There are
We will never shame them, Blessing, if they haven't.
come on. Okay, wonderful. Dr. Liana has bought her book. Carol, do give us a list of those who have bought the book and those who haven't bought the book, please. We are here to support our sister as she launches her book. It's a life-changing book. How to save thousands, literally 10,000 pounds on a low income. Let's buy it and let's support her. Thank you. I'm loving that. Kemi, thank you. You've bought the book. Valerie, I believe, has bought the book. Priscilla, yeah, you've got a book and you're gonna get a gift for someone. Daryl, purchase. Thank you. I need to see more of that, please. More of that. And at this moment, I'm going to introduce to you our very own Barbara Miller. I'm just going to share my screen with you so you can see a little bit about Barbara. So, Barbara, my goodness, who is she? She is oh, you can see, let me just put that on yeah, on the slideshow. Wonderful. So, Barbara, who is she? She is a business, sorry, yep, she's a business author and a carer. She runs a company called Vocal Angel Limited and enjoys using her voice to create business opportunities for herself. What is Barbara here to do tonight? Barbara is going to give us a reading of a section of the book. And Barbara has done something really creative. She read the section and she's made it available on YouTube so they can go global, so that people can hear it and be inspired by Annette's story. So I'm going to just mute everybody because I hear a little bit of a sound. Just want to make sure that there's no sound and that the only sound is from the YouTube that I'm about to play. I'm going to share my screen so that you can hear the sound from YouTube. And if anybody is struggling to hear it, do please let me know, okay? So here is the book that Barbara has kindly read, and she's made it available on YouTube, and it's called How to Save 10,000 on a Low Income, and it's a sample audible, okay? And of course, Annette is the author, and it's read by Barbara Angela Miller of Vocal Angel Limited. Enjoy.
My mom experienced debt when I was 9 years old. After seeing the impact of debt in her life, I vowed to never be in debt, no matter my income level. I managed to save thousands of pounds a year as a single parent, regardless of the income coming in. At times, my income ranged from £18,000 to £25,000. Sometimes it was a bit less. I had quite a lot of overheads and childcare fees and still managed to save a few thousand a year for my son and me. I began DIY investing in funds nearly 2 years ago, having taught myself from reading books. I mainly invest in exchange-traded funds. To be on the safe side, I also take advice from a qualified financial advisor. I am pleased to say that my investments have far surpassed the returns on a typical savings account, which are currently on average 0.65% at today's rates. Most banks today won't give you a 1% return on your hard-earned cash for most savings account. As such, investing is a no-brainer. My mum's debt accrued from 2 televisions and 2 single mattresses, which she purchased for a total cost of around £600 in the mid-1990s. She took out credit to pay for these items. She couldn't afford to consistently make payments beyond the minimum amount to clear the credit, so she eventually got into debt. This is quite a common problem. She began struggling financially and the debt wasn't reducing in size due to the interest being charged. The rate of interest was about 20% APR. The debt was growing in size because interest was being added to the debt, and then more interest was being applied on top. This was occurring on a monthly basis, so her small debt was snowballing out of control. My mum experienced the negative impact of a powerful concept called compound interest. This means that the debt company was making her pay interest on interest, so the debt was quickly spiraling out of control. The goal of good money management is to get compound interest working on your finances positively. This would mean that your savings or investments are growing over time through interest being added to interest. Over time, compound interest helps your savings grow significantly. I have the concept of compound interest working in my savings and investments. It is also working in my son's savings and investments. This is the outcome I want you to achieve. Debt spiraling out of control is quite a common issue. My mum decided to ask the debt company to freeze the interest payments on the debt so she could pay the amount completely. Fortunately, they agreed to this request. When she finally cleared the total balance of the debt, she vowed that she would never get into debt again, and she never did. Having experienced the emotional impact of my mum's debt as a young child and seen the impact that debt had on my mum and siblings, it had the positive effect of causing me to want to handle money very well. As a result, I never have experienced debt. I wish to teach as many people as possible good money management skills so they can achieve similar results. I worked as a teaching assistant and lived with my mom before my son was born when I was 25. Before my son was born, I was cash rich because I lived at home and didn't have to pay much towards household expenses. Saving money was effortless. I used the money principles discussed in this book to save several £1,000s. When I had my own household to run at 25 while raising my young son, I had a lot of overheads to pay. I returned to work when my son was 3.5 years old. Nurseries typically charge between £1,000 and £1,200 a month for a child to attend full-time. This is quite a lot of money, especially when your household income isn't that high, or if you're raising a child as a single parent. The government assisted and paid quite a large part of the nursery fees, but the remaining fees are quite expensive in relation to my salary of £18,000 per year as an administrator. I have to humble myself to admit this, but I was entitled to top-up payments for my daily living from the government, alongside help with childcare costs despite working full-time. Despite my low income, I still saved. In my case, my savings journey was quite slow and steady rather than fast. Slow and steady can win the race. I want to assure you that you can still have a low income and begin achieving financial security. The journey will take longer unless you find a way to increase your revenue. At times, you'll have to find a way to bring in more money to get quicker results with regards to building up your savings. This could be through a pay rise or getting a side hustle. It is okay to get slow results, especially when you know that you'll eventually begin investing. Investing is fantastic because it has the capacity to grow your finances quite quickly in comparison to just saving money. While earning £18,000 a year, each month I saved what I could afford. This was typically £80 a month for my son and £200 a month for myself. When I began earning £25,000, I could save more. I saved on average £120 for my son and £350 for myself. I felt like the working poor because despite earning £25,000 a year, I was entitled to assistance for childcare and a small payment towards daily living costs. And you guessed it, I still saved and then began investing. My capacity to save consistently was based on the budgeting model that I will introduce you to soon, as well as following 3 money principles which will help you do the same. The only problem was that I didn't know how to invest and didn't feel comfortable approaching a financial advisor based on a negative experience I had with a financial advisor at the age of 23. I delayed investing for nearly 10 years because of this. This is why I'm so passionate about teaching people about money management and investing. I want people to feel confident to have a financial conversation with a financial advisor and to be in the position to actually invest. Each person has their own unique individual circumstances. I believe most people can save £10,000. All you need is a mindset for wealth creation, to live from a budget, begin implementing money principles, begin clearing your debt, and then track your net worth at least monthly. My hope for you reading this book is that you eventually secure your financial freedom through investing. I hope you regard yourself as one of the 100,000 wealth builders I am aiming to help, and join us on this powerful wealth building journey. You do not have to live a lifetime of financial chaos. You can be financially secure, but it requires sacrifice, time, commitment, money, and consistency. I want as many people as possible to achieve financial freedom. Financial freedom means you have enough passive income coming in to cover your living expenses. Passive income means that you cannot have to be physically present at a job to earn money. Financial freedom means that you have the choice as to whether or not you want to continue working. Investing is a way you can begin to achieve financial freedom. Saving is not sufficient on its own because the interest
Sorry, can you? Hi everyone. It seems to be swirling around. Let me just click on play and see. Okay. So I think what we will do is we will leave it there, and it was just about to get to the towards the end, but I see it swirling around, and I'm not sure the reason. It does say that my internet is a bit unstable, so it may be my internet. But Barbara is on the line, so I don't know if Barbara wants to just finish off the trail end, but that was just so mesmerizing. Barbara, I know your voice is a bit hoarse at the moment, but try to just finish the end for us, please. Thank you.
Okay, I think we got to, okay, I think she said, well done, Annette. Congratulations, amazing book.
Thank you, Barbara.
Oh, amazing. I want as many people as possible to achieve financial freedom. Financial freedom means you have enough passive income coming in to cover your living expenses. Passive income means that you do not have to be physically present at a job to earn money. Financial freedom means that you have the choice as to whether or not you want to continue working. Investing is a way you can begin to achieve financial freedom. Saving is not sufficient on its own because the interest you receive when saving your hard-earned money is very low, typically less than 1%. The rates for potential growth are a lot higher when investing. Risk is involved, but this risk can be managed with good financial advice and financial literacy. I have shared my personal story with you because I want you to get results. It has taken a lot of humility to share my story. I have done so because if I can save and invest more than 10% of my salary when I was earning a low income, so can you. There are really no excuses. You can save money on a low income and even as a single parent, low income household. I have absolute faith that you can get the same results and more. I hope to reach at least 100,000 low-income individuals or households with this book to empower these people to begin building financial security on a low income through saving money and good money management and through tracking their net worth. Let's do this. As you read this book, I trust you will be empowered to save £10,000 and be motivated to begin eventually investing so that you can build your net worth. I have a free savings Telegram group you can join to encourage you to save consistently. Please get in touch for more details. And that was just pages 5 to 11, and it's called My Story.
Wow.
Thank you so
That
much,
was
Barbara. That was amazing.
I mean, Barbara, that was beautiful. When we spoke about putting it on YouTube, I didn't realize how powerful it will be. And people in the chat, people were just like, beautiful voice. Is it possible to share the link? Wow, great, thank you. So I have shared the voice, and someone said, Isabel said, indeed, the audio sounds really great, sweet voice. And indeed, Barbara has a business all around her voice. So if you have a book coming up, if you've got an advert that needs doing, anything, if perhaps you're an author, you've got a book written and you want someone to read it for you, that is what Barbara's business is. It's all about using her voice to make impact. So contact her at Vocal Angel Limited. And Barbara, please put your contact details in the chat, because people, I'm sure, can't get enough of your sweet, sweet voice. That was amazing. My goodness, before we move on, I just wanted a few people to put in the chat, what did you learn about Annette's story that really captivated you? Because Annette was so personal, but like she said, she did it so that people can learn from her and, you know, make better choices. So out of what you heard about the book, what are the few things, that few principles that Annette, you know, has lived that you just think, wow, I must really implement this in my life? Please feel free to put it in the chat, because there is just so much, and that's just the beginning part of the book. I'm telling you, this is a must have book, not only for yourself, but for your children, for your grandchildren, for your loved ones. Please continue putting in the chat if you have bought the book. If you've bought the book, we need to know. I'm going to put the link in the chat once again for those who have bought the book. And Carol, your job is to please thank everybody. Send us the list of those who have bought the book so we can thank them. Those who have bought the book, please, this is your chance to buy the book. Let us support our sister Annette as she launches this powerful book tonight on how she saved £10,000 on a low income. And believe you me, Annette really demystifies the topic. And if you, once you read the book, you will see that if Annette can do it, you can do it. She had to learn the experience to make it easy for us to copy. Yes, somebody said, inspired by your conviction, Annette. And Annette, that's the truth. You really pour out your heart. And I just love how you did not hold back. You told us the truth. Low income, but you were able to be consistent. Yes, somebody said being consistent in saving, and see that pool of money grow. If Annette can do it, you and I can do it. Let's get a copy of the book. And so now we have a very exciting moment. Why? Because we've got the lovely Daryl Harper with us, and Annette is going to do an interview with Daryl Harper. Let me tell you a little bit about Daryl Harper. He knows how to create an impact. He's a mentor, and he coaches others as a result of a successful 10-year career in teaching in the further education sector. Combined with unfortunate family circumstances attributed to financial worries, Darrow's interest in financial education, personal development, and leadership grew, and he found mentors and coaches who were very successful in the financial services arena. Darrow trained and qualified to teach financial education in 2008 and became the youngest ever executive vice president of his company. My goodness. Darrow is a dynamic, energetic, infectious speaker who has impacted thousands of people through empowering speaking engagements. I mean, get ready to crack up. That's all I can tell you. Get ready to make notes, because this man, he's on fire. He's coming with impact. So everybody, please unmute yourself and let's give a wonderful welcome to Darrow Harper.
Yes.
Woo!
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can I say something first?
Welcome, Darrow.
I want to say thank you so much. I want to say well done to Annette. I'm so proud of you for what you've done and putting the book together. That's amazing. I want to hire Barbara just to read me a bedtime story. If I'm just that alone, I'll literally pay for you just to read bedtime stories every single night, to be fair. So you got a business there, Barbara. So yeah, no, I'm so glad, Annette, that I said I didn't want to do a presentation today. I'm so glad, because everything that you and your sister spoke about was going to be in my presentation. So I'm so glad that I didn't do it, or they just repeated it. So I'm good to go, my dear.
Okay, let's go. So guys, we're honored to have Darrow here today. Darrow has over 10 years of experience. So get your questions ready. Remember, we're here to change lives. We expect people to get results. So I'm going to ask Darrow a few questions. If I miss something, please write it in the chat, and perhaps Blessing or someone else can read it out at the end. So Darrow, I'm going to start off by asking you, why is money management important?
I think it's one of those things whereby the whole head in the sand method of becoming financially free isn't going to work. I think what happens with a lot of people, they think that if they don't have conversations about money, if they don't open up the letters, then suddenly out of nowhere, I'm going to become financially free. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't work like that. You know, I mean, it's not talking about loving money. It's about having a respect for it. And sometimes it's not just about you. It's about all the people that, the legacy that you're going to leave. And you have to make a decision of, well, what does do? I have this thing called your dash. Yeah, the time that you were born, the time that you die, and that dash in between. What does that dash in between represent? And it's that having that understanding of money and the respect for it, and then knowing how to get it to work for you is so important, not just for you, but for everybody else that's coming after you. I never forget one of the things that one of my mentors said to me when he first met me. It's actually almost 13 years now I've been teaching finance, funny enough. It's almost 13 years now. He said to me, Dal, you have this real passion for helping people. But he said, if you want to help poor people, the best thing you can do is don't be one. He said, the best thing you can do is don't be one. They don't need your hugs and your kissing. That's lovely. He said, what they need food and they need shelter. So put yourself in a position financially where you can give. And one of the things I say to people is you got to get to a position where you can give from your overflow, not from your lack.
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. And can I ask you, Darrow, what would you say life is like typically in your experience for those people with no money management experience or money management skills?
Oh, wow. Okay, okay, I feel like we could open this one up to people who may not be in that position. I don't know what position people are in. But I find just from clients that I see, it's stress. So, for example, my parents, just so you know a bit of the story, my parents separated because of money. My parents have been together for 18 years. They were married for 12 years and separated when I was 15 years old. And my mum got severely depressed and she overdosed.
Oh, wow.
At the age of 15. So I had to, you know, I dropped out of the educational system. My dad had me on the building site with him on the weekends, paying me a salary so I could pay the mortgage. So at 15 years old, I took on mortgage payments. At 18 years old, they transferred the mortgage into my name. So from the perspective of when you don't understand money, you don't manage it, there's stress that happens. Over 70% of separations and divorces are because of a lack of money. There's depression, mental illness, bullying. There's so many things that come as a negative of not managing your money effectively and wisely. I find that people that don't have a lot of money think about it more than people that do. Because you know what I mean? That's it. When you have it, you don't think about it as much because you don't need to. You know, it's coming and it's there in abundance. But when you don't have it, that's when you think about it more. And I don't know anybody that is excited about worrying about how they're going to pay their bills. There's a level of peace. I believe that not everyone wants. One of the things I've learned just over almost 13 years is, funny enough, not everyone wants to be rich, and not everyone wants to be wealthy. But I've learned that everybody wants financial peace. They want financial peace and they want financial control. And that's what people want. They want options, they want choices to be able to do what they want, when they want, how they want, and with whoever they want to do it with. That's the one thing I have learned.
Thanks for sharing that, Daryl. And why would you say debt? Would you say debt is dangerous? Obviously it is dangerous. How dangerous would you say debt is to people's financial well-being?
It's funny, someone posted, I think it was Tunji, I think I saw posted a message earlier about, are you saying that people shouldn't have credit cards? Now, to this day, I have never had a credit card in my life. I've never, ever, ever, ever had a credit card in my life to this day. Yeah. And credit cards amongst themselves are not bad, because you have different types of debt. You have bad debt and you have smart debt. And the reality is most people don't have smart debt, they have bad debt. So smart debt would be something that, you know, they call it, like it provides you with, like, oh, having an investment property would be a smart debt, for example. It provides you with an income. Yeah. If it doesn't generate an income, it's a bad debt. Yeah. So debt amongst itself, depending on where it is, could be good or bad. But let's focus on the bad side of it, because that's what we're talking about. Debt is, it's a roadblock. I say it is a roadblock to your success. It's a roadblock between you achieving the goals and dreams that you have. And it's a roadblock that stops you providing for your family and your children the way that you want to provide for them, essentially. And when people don't understand sometimes about just kind of like the credit score system and understand how that works and the importance of having a good credit score, is essentially a credit score is your credentials. What it does, it exposes what your credentials are to be able to borrow money. So credit score is like a representation of your trust and your credentials at the same time. Like the higher the interest rate that they give you on a mortgage means they don't trust you to borrow more money. Do you know what I mean? That's what we don't trust you because it's not a credit score, it's a debt score essentially. And it's like your credit. Could you pay back a certain credit card or payment on time? If you can't, then we don't trust you. And your credentials are lower. So we're going to charge you for your lack of trust and your ability not to pay back something back on time. When you think about it like that, it's slightly different. Does that make sense? So sometimes it's not, in this day and age now, it's about credit. Do you have the borrowing power to be able to do things? It's not always about money. It's about, do I have the power? Can I leverage on other people's money, essentially? So when you're in debt, bad debt, you can't leverage that much. Not at a decent price. You know what I mean? You're gonna pay the price for your debt in more ways than one.
And can I ask you, Daryl, in terms of debt, what is the best way for people to overcome debt in your experience, would you say, for those that are persistently in debt?
Don't get into it in the first place. Right, so no, my thing is that prevention is better than cure. My thing is very much a couple of things. Obviously, don't get into it in the first place is the easiest thing. But if you're already in it, it's, as you said, you know, Annette, you've said it, it's like spend less than what you earn. Because most people don't do that. What they do is they spend more than they have. And I always say at my events, people spend money they don't have to buy things they don't need to impress people they don't like. Yeah, keeping up with their whole life is on credit. Like their cars on PCP, their house is on mortgage, their clothes are on finance, their hair is on lease. I mean, like the whole thing, the whole life is literally just on credit. Yeah, and it's not at a good rate either. So you've got the strategies in your book, you know, like whether it's snowballing, whether it's debt stacking, all of those type of things. But my thing is, you know, I always tell people that you should always delay your spend by 7 days, at least. If you're about to make a purchase, what people do is they buy things on emotional highs, and they justify with logic afterwards. So when emotion is high, intelligence is low. Does that make sense? So my thing is, well, delay your spend. Wait 7 days before you spend money. Wait 30 days before you spend money. Because there typically isn't that many items that are more than £10 that you need to buy on a daily basis. Like if you really think about it, like apples, bananas, or something to clean your house, deodorant. There's not many single items that cost more than £10. So typically, once you go over a certain amount, we're now talking about luxuries as opposed to necessities.
That's a fair point, actually. And can I ask you, Daryl, how important is mindset to wealth building, would you say?
It is a necessity. It is a necessity. I was listening to something the other day. I can't remember if what this is the person said or this is what I got from it. He said that typically people that are highly emotional will never become wealthy. They won't become wealthy. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I get that. It makes sense. You have to have the right mindset. All you have to think about all the people that have won the lottery. Yeah. And stats will show you that a good proportion of them within 2 years end up in a situation worse than they were in before they had the money. Because just money doesn't bring knowledge. If you spend the money, if you invest the money wisely, it does. But automatically get a lump sum money doesn't mean that you suddenly get an abundance of wisdom out of nowhere. Yeah. So the money in itself is just money. It's the mindset and knowledge, because there's people that don't have money and weren't brought up with money can get. If you read the book, you've got Annette story. You've heard a bit of the story from Annette and Leanne, that they weren't born into money, but they had the mindset that allowed them to acquire. I love what you said earlier, Annette. You know, I believe that if you save for an emergency fund, you get an emergency. But if you save for freedom, then you get freedom. Yeah? But freedom ain't free. Like the price you pay for freedom is typically bigger than the price you pay for poverty. Ooh, that one was harsh. That one, I felt that one in the shiver, felt that in my back, man. That makes me want to talk in tongues. All right. Do you understand what I mean? The price is bigger for poverty than it is for freedom.
What you just described, Daryl, was quite shocking about what happened to your mum and just having to take on a mortgage at such a young age. It's just so sad. And that's partly why I don't want my son to have any issues, which is why he has a block of money that's now been invested. So I just want him to have the option of putting down his first deposit, paying for marriage, or whatever it is he wants to do when he reaches 18, 21, 25, or even pay off his whole education fund and not have to worry about it. So yeah, it's better our children inherit something rather than debt or just pressure to bring in a certain income because we're not doing our jobs properly.
And add to that, and then along with the money, and I know you're doing this anyway. Without asking you, I know you're doing it. Along with the money, because it's all well and good that we can all save and invest for our children, but don't do that without giving them an education as well. Does that make sense? Because you can, I remember doing an event not too long ago at a university. Well, I say not too long ago. Gosh, we've been in lockdown forever, it feels like. So before lockdown, I speak in schools and churches with young people as well, do my own events. And I remember doing this event, and this was not planned this way. It just so happened that half the room were from one particular culture, and the other half were from another particular culture. And we asked the question of what conversations did you have around the dining room table about money growing up as a child? And half the room unanimously turned around and said, dining room table? What dining room table? Right? We were told that children should be seen and not heard, and don't speak with your mouth full. Right? The other culture, unanimously, all of them turned around and said, oh, our parents spoke to us about investing, business, property, stocks, shares, saving. They spoke to us about all of those type of things. Now, which culture do you think did better? The option A, option B? I'm not even going to tell you which culture it was. I'm guessing that most of us can work it out for ourselves. Yeah. But what happens a lot of the times as parents, you don't want to have the conversations about money with your children because you think, okay, I don't have any money to talk about. But you don't realize that the damage that you are doing by not having the conversations is so detrimental. Now, you have to instill these habits in them from when they're young. Because they say that if you teach a child the way to go as they grow older, they will never depart. So if you're teaching the habits when they're young, they tend to continue with those habits throughout their lifetime. Or it's going to be the school of hard knocks when you've got to learn the hard way. That takes longer to do that.
And it's very painful as well. Can I ask you, Daryl, how important is, like, what is net worth and why is that important? Would you say that's important to wealth building?
I'm going to go an extra step to that, because they say your network will equate, well, your net worth essentially. So network will tell you kind of, you know, on paper what you are worth. So you can be asset rich but cash poor, which is cool. It means you can leverage off of the assets and what have you. So that's important. But for me, to go slightly left of that, it's your network that's important as well. Yeah, because your network will help increase your net worth. And you know why? Because environment is so important. You're hanging around the right people. One of the things my dad said to me growing up as a child, like, go to your bed before I beat you. Not that though. He said, if you're standing, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. And he said, if you're standing in a room with your friends and you're the smartest one in the room, you need to go and find some more friends. So you need to hang out with people that are better than you, that are more successful than you, that make more money than you make, got bigger goals and dreams than you have, and then you tend to go to that environment. And one of the things I realized is when I changed my environment and I started hanging around with people that are just better than me successfully, funny enough, my income started to grow. My net worth started to grow as my environment started to grow. Does that make sense? So it's so important that you surround yourself. There's a book that talks about you become the sum total of the 5 or 7 people that you hang around with the most.
Yeah.
You got to ask yourself, who are you hanging around with the most? Some of those people may need to drop off your list. Sometimes you just got to you got to upgrade. Like, my thing is, you got to constantly upgrade. You got to constantly upgrade your list of people.
That is crucial. That is crucial. Thanks for that. And can I ask, Daryl, how important is it to protect your wealth, and how do you protect your own wealth?
Oh, do you know what's interesting about that question? I love these, right? Because we didn't plan the questions before. I told Annette I don't want to know the questions. Is wealthy people, from my experience, they believe in protecting everything. Like they'll have business insurance, they'll have life insurance. They'll just have insurance. Typically, people with a poor mindset, what do I need that for? I ain't gonna die. Not anytime soon. Who told you that? Like, nobody knows the number of their days. Well, what am I wasting money on that for? I don't need it. Yeah, okay. Good luck with that level of thinking. Protecting your wealth is so important. Like, even if it's, because my thing, all you're doing, so I believe in protection, I believe in insurance, I believe in all of those things, yeah? Because all you're doing is essentially you're offsetting the risk to somebody else. Yeah? And when you don't protect those things, what you're saying is, I'm prepared to put my family's future at risk for the fact that I'm going to live till the age of 100 until I've built up the financial wealth that I can hand it over to them. That's what you're saying, essentially. Where, as opposed to, I'm going to offset the risk for a small amount of monthly fee for another company to take on that risk if I die prematurely or I get seriously ill. 100%. The fact, like the foundation, like any good success book you read from a wealthy person will always talk about, you know what, you got to have the goals, you got to have the whys, you got to have the vision of where you're going, but you also got to protect everything as well at the same time. And that foundation is so important that if anything happens while you're building wealth, the life insurance is there, the serious illness cover is there, the income protection is there, that I've got a protection on my business. All those things are so important. So important.
And Daryl, could you share a story with us about anyone you know who hasn't had sufficient cover in place and the consequences?
Yeah, I can think about, there's one story I always tell about one of my clients, and there's loads, but there's one in particular, because I think this was the first one that happened to me. This was back in 2009, and a lady had approached me. I remember it. That in February 2009, this lady approached me and said, "Daryl, I want to take out some life protection." So fine, no problem. So we put that in place in February 2009, and in March 2009, the same year, the following month, she got diagnosed with cancer. In November 2009, the same year, she died of cancer.
Oh my God.
Left 4 children under the age of 16 with £100,000. That £100,000 didn't bring her back. Yeah. But what he did is she left a legacy. Does that make sense? She paid £7.50 for a policy. That's all. £7.50. And what people don't understand is life insurance is one of the quickest ways to inject wealth into your family.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know the demographic of the people that are on here. Yeah, but I don't know if any of you know how much the average funeral costs in the UK. Yeah. They say online they tell you about £3,000 to £4,000. I'm gonna say it just because of the people I see on this screen right now. I'm gonna say it. Depending on where you're from culturally, you know that can cost you 7 to 10 grand. Because I know stewed chicken and rice, eba, fufu, costs more than cucumber sandwiches. It's true. My best friend died last year. £28,000 was his funeral.
Wow.
£28,000. Died on his 46th birthday. £28,000.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you understand what I mean? So people take it for granted. Do you know this is the craziest thing in it? Do you know there's more dogs and cats insured in the UK by ratio than human beings?
It's shocking, isn't it? It's just
that your
horrific.
hamster's insured and your goldfish is insured. Your mobile phone is insured. Your content's insured. Your car, your TV, your laptop. But the person who pays for all of those things isn't insured. That is actually, in my humble opinion, very selfish.
Definitely. And I made sure I dressed up myself, Daryl, by getting myself insured. And it wasn't expensive. I thought it would cost a lot more than it did, but I was quite surprised by the cost. And now it just gives me peace of mind. I'm not planning to die anytime soon, but if it happens, God forbid, I know that cover's in place. So thanks for sharing that, Daryl. Can I ask you, Daryl, do you have financial goals or a vision board or anything like that you're working towards in terms of improving your financial results?
Yeah, my goal is to get on the Forbes list.
Okay.
It's as simple as that. I'm going on the Forbes list. And I don't care where I am on the Forbes list. I'd rather be, because you get a choice. You can be either the best of the best, the best of the worst, or the worst of the best. Yeah. And I'd rather be, ideally you want to be the best of the best. Yeah. But I'd rather be the worst of the best than the best of the worst. I don't want to be the richest person around broke friends. I'd rather be the brokest one around the rich ones.
I agree. That does.
But yeah, Forbes list. I'm going to open up a youth center. That's on the list. So, but the biggest one is retiring my parents. That's the biggest one. Yeah, I said, Mum, Dad, there you go. I've got you.
Fantastic. And if you could speak to your younger self, Daryl, what would you tell your younger self?
I would.
We know you're young, but you're younger self.
I was thinking about a cover. Stay away from dairy. Now I would have said to myself, think bigger, act faster, and make a decision to retire at the age of 23. I would have said that. I would have said, think bigger than you're currently thinking. Because when I was young, I had no other goals other than just to be the very best at whatever it was that I was doing. I said, whatever it is I'm doing, I want to be the best. I could have been, if I was going to be a road sweeper, I was going to be the best road sweeper that came out of Hackney. If I was going to be a toilet cleaner, I was going to be the best toilet cleaner that came out of Hackney. If I was a teacher, I was going to be the best teacher that came out of Hackney. So that was it. And I wish I had bigger goals when I was younger, other than just to be the very best. I would have acted faster. So I would have spent less time procrastinating and doubting and worrying and being concerned. And I always took action, but also sometimes you overthink yourself into procrastination. Or you overthink yourself into stagnation. You go, I wonder if I should do that. Should I do that? I'm not sure if I should do it. I should think of it. Let me go ask somebody else who hasn't done it, but they can give me some advice and tell me not to do it too, but like they've done it before. So I would have acted faster, and I would have made a conscious decision to retire at 23 years old. Yeah. That's it. Now, would I have retired? No, because I love what I do. I love what I do, but I would have put myself in a position to do that. So I retired from having a job at the age of 28. Because retirement isn't an age, retirement is an income. You can retire at any age that you want if you've got the money to do so. Do you know what I mean? And just to go left field a bit. I don't know what everyone's religious beliefs on here. It doesn't matter, to be fair. But there is, I learned from a rabbi, mentor of mine, there is nowhere, funny enough, do you know there's no definition in Hebrew of the word retirement? It doesn't exist. Yeah. And he said to me, you know what God, he said, think about that, it's what God said, your hair, everyone's brought on this earth to serve people. Yeah. And if you decide at retirement that you're going to do nothing, then what use does God have for you? If you're not going to serve God's people, then what use does he have for you? Do you know what I mean? So you might as well just die, essentially. So that's why the word doesn't exist in Hebrew. Yeah? So it's not about it's about putting yourself in a position where you can retire if you want to, but you're still serving people. Because that's essentially, people who provide the most service are the ones that make the most money. Money will always flow from consumer to people that produce a service of some sort.
Thanks for sharing that, Jarrell. And I'd just, we'll round off soon. How important is investing to financial freedom, would you say?
Oh, it's necessity. Like that's a must. Like you don't put money in the bank. Oh, the other thing I would have said in there, I would have taken more risks. I would have taken more calculated risk when I was younger. Yes, Rabbi Lapin, definitely that person. Someone just posted a name there. You don't put money in the bank for it to grow. You put money in the bank for it to be held. Do you know what I mean? For it to be easily accessible. It's not in there. It's not there for it to. It's not in there for it to grow for you. Yeah, it'll grow for the bank. It's not there for it to grow for you. But if you just think to yourself, what do wealthy people do with their money? Like success leaves clues. They invest it. They invest in themselves, and invest in commodities, funds, stock exchange, what have you. So you've got to invest. If you want your money to grow and you want your money to work hard for you, then yes, you do. It's a need. It's a must. It's a must.
And Darryl, where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
Where do I see myself in 10 years' time?
Or even 5
years? You know
years?
what? Because of this whole COVID situation, I got new goals now. My goal is I'm going to buy an island.
Nice.
I want to buy an island. That's the new goal. I've been shopping, and once I start shopping, it's happening. So I've been looking at almost every day at islands, and I've seen islands going for like £150,000.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I've seen there's ones that are with nothing on it, ones that are kitted. So I'm like, yes, I'm buying my own island. Like I said, the youth centers will be there. The financial freedom, that's a done deal. But it's buying an island and the youth center. So my goals have increased because of COVID.
Do you have a location in mind, Darryl? I never thought of buying an island. That sounds amazing.
We'll talk. No, because you got to have, like, for me, you got to have these big, hairy, audacious goals, because what happens is your income is limited by your mindset, and your goals are as well. So my thing is, typically, most people, you really think about it, if you have a burning desire and you've had something that you are just so focused on achieving, the majority of us have achieved it, whether it's a course, whether it's an exam, we've always achieved the things that we really, really want. So until you get to a point until you really, really want, and it burns inside, that you're emotional about it. Like I always say to people, I had pictures of myself on the wall, but I see it better up here. Because in my head, there's no pictures that I've found online that paints the picture better than the one I see up here. And I daydream about the stuff that I want to achieve every day. But once I set the goal, I forget about it. Now I focus on what I've got to do on a daily basis to make it happen.
Can I ask you, Darryl, do you use a vision board or anything like that, or it's all in your head?
The majority of it is in my head. But what I do, no, the way I'm wired differently. Not better, but just different. Some people do vision boards, and I've done that. But what I do is I watch videos every day of the stuff that I want. Like I will go on YouTube and I'll watch a video on what I want. I think about it. I'll watch a video. I'll go and research. So I'm constantly feeding my mind with the thing I want. But I like to watch I like to watch videos. I like hearing people talk about how amazing the product is, because it makes me want it even more. So I don't need to print stuff off so much. I'll have pictures of it like on my phone. But I will look at them daily. They say that a millionaire will look at their goals twice a day. A billionaire will look at them several times a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So look at them daily. So I don't print them, but I look at them. But it's important to have, if everyone's different, if you need to print them off, 100% do it. I've done that before. I've done that before, but I find videos work better for me.
Fantastic. And the last question, Daryl, how do you overcome procrastination or days when you're not so motivated and you just want to sit back and do nothing when you know you should be doing something? Because I know it's important to have a chill days, but some people are chilling a bit too much.
Too much, like you've been chilling too. All right, so everyone procrastinates. The difference is the wealthy people have planned procrastination. So they plan when they're going to procrastinate. Like Mondays is my day off. I don't talk to nobody. I don't want to smell nobody. You don't see, I'm not on my phone. It's me. Monday is me and Netflix all day long. Me and Netflix, and that's my planned goof off day. I'm allowed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, okay. Oh gosh, I don't feel like I should go here, but I'm gonna go here. It said that God worked for 6 days and then took off the 7th. Why are some of you taking off 2 days? Like God, no, it's true, though, isn't it? God works for 6 and then took off 1. Why are you taking off 7 and 4 and 3? Like you gotta earn your days off. Do you understand what I mean? You gotta earn them off. So my thing is very much, all right. It's about when you have a strong, burning desire, discipline automatically follows that. And when you have a strong burning desire, you procrastinate less. But when you don't have something that's compelling and consuming you in a positive way, and that you're obsessed by, and I mean I'm talking about a healthy obsession, you'll always procrastinate.
Mm-hmm.
But when you know that there's this thing that you want and it's a must do and it's burning inside of you, you don't procrastinate as much because you know there's a level of urgency. Like you got to do the toughest thing first and get that out of the way. Because what we do is most of us do the most unimportant thing first because it's the easiest thing to do. But it's also the one that pays you the least amount of money. But let me go and sort out my socks and fold them up. Let me go and put my panty and the underwear in the drawer. Let me go, and all these things are necessities. But do they pay you money? Like are they part of your higher purpose? Are they part of your value system? Like, and when you understand what your values are and you prioritize what your values are, everything that's outside of that is potentially a waste of time. Pay someone to do it. Work on your strengths, hire your weaknesses. Pay someone else to do all the things that are not worth your time. So my thing is very much, you got to just say to yourself, all right, I recognize I'm procrastinating. I need to take action. I need to do it. Because the reality is, you pay the price for procrastination.
Definitely.
You already showed it in the investment slide, where you showed the lady who started investing at this point had twice as much as the person who procrastinated and waited later. You paid the price for procrastinating. How many of you know, honestly, you've suffered and paid the price for procrastinating? Yeah. And if you're not raising your hand, you're sitting there thinking about it, that means you procrastinated.
It's easy to do. It's easy to do.
Easy. So easy.
Well, thanks very much, Daryl, for coming on board to speak and for answering those questions. I'm sure people took many nuggets. I heard someone was asking if you're single. I heard he's amazing, and there were quite a few other things in there. So thanks a lot, Daryl, for giving us your time. How can people connect with you?
What I'll do is I'll post my details in the chat. But can I say as well, Annette, thank you for allowing me to share your platform and sharing on your platform, because this is your day. This is your moment. So I feel privileged and I feel honored to receive a call from you asking me to speak on your launch day. And I do honestly, thank you so much. Thank you so much. But I'll post my details in the box.
All right. Thanks a lot for that, Daryl.
Well, but in case anyone's recording, Daryl at darylharper.com is the website. You can get me from there, but I'll post it in the box as well.
Amazing.
Thank you so much, Daryl. That was amazing.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Real talk, and I love it.
Bless you.
Thank you, Daryl. That was amazing. And Daryl, please answer for Karen. I am boss. She asked a very important question. She said, "Are you single?" She heard about an island you're buying. She can come with you on that island. So answer the question for us.
Love it.
There's a song that comes to mind. If you don't love me now, don't love me later. When my money is much greater, or something like that, right? I never answer that question. So I think what I've learned in life, I never answer that question because I always tend to get pimped out when I answer it. So I just don't say nothing to nobody about it. Every time I go to a church, the pastor pimps me out to the congregation. No, I've decided from years ago, I don't say nothing. I don't answer the question. Sorry.
Sorry, Carol, I tried.
Oh.
I tried.
The ladies on the platform, we will say, oh.
No, because I've seen in the play. I've seen you pimp out Leanne. Now you're trying to pimp out me. It's supposed to be about finance, but you're all trying to sort out some sort of brothel. What?
We're trying to kill two birds with one stone. Wonderful. I mean, Daryl, that was amazing. So many comments from people about the stuff you spoke about. Literally so inspirational. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are winding down and we are about to come to the end, but not yet. I'm just sharing my screen with you. So you can see, I've just done my rating for Annette's book. I've bought it and I've written my review and I'm about to submit. So I'm going to put the review link in the chat. Those of you who have bought the book, look, it's so much easier if whilst the next section is going on, you go into Amazon and just leave your review, because I know you're very busy people. Once you leave here, you'll get on with other stuff. So why don't you do it now? So I'm going to press submit. And that's mine done. It's as easy as that, okay? So please, please, please get your copy of the book and just simply press submit. And I'm about to call on the very lovely Carol Williams. She's here to basically encourage those of you who have not yet bought the book, get your book. So please unmute yourself and let's give a big welcome to Carol Williams as she comes to us right now. Woo, 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 woo!
Can we have a big round of applause, please? Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Oh, Carol.
Hey, Carol.
Oh, Carol.
Thank you. That's better. Thank you so much. Wow, wow, wow. I am speechless. It's not often that I become speechless, but I'm speechless. Annette, author, well done, and congratulations on your launch once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we've learned so much about Annette's book today. I mean, we've had some amazing people. Annette's told her story, you know, about her childhood and about savings. We've heard from Priscilla. She spoke about money habits. We've heard from Leanne, the amazing Leanne, that spoke about mindset and about having your financial vision. So there's so many principles that we can take away. So I'm just going to ask you if you could just put one thing that you're going to action straight away as a result of what you've learned. You've heard from Annette. She said that you must live off what less than you earn. You should pay yourself first. You should build yourself a freedom fund. You should live from your budget. You heard from Daryl, who spoke about not having credit card debts, how important it is to protect yourself with life insurance and having critical illness. So either unmute yourselves or just put in the chat, what is the one thing that you're going to take away as a result of hearing from Annette's story and everyone else that spoke today? Let's just get everyone moving, and as well as keep on purchasing the book. Let us know when you've done your review so that we can update Pastor Tunje that is helping to sell Annette's book. So let's hear from somebody. Please buy the book. Build a freedom fund, Marvin said. Congratulations, well done. Live off less than you earn, Michelle says. Christine says, live on my budget. Adele says, double down on saving, and she's going to review her budget. Let's keep the chat busy. Let's keep the chat busy. Well done, Adesola, for purchasing your book. Being a bit risky. There's somebody's, Isabel's going to invest her money. Rachel says she's going to delay her spending by 7 days. Excellent. JT says, don't spend more than he earns, and he's going to save. Barbara says, do not procrastinate. She's going to do it now. Let's keep the chat box moving. Come on, let's keep the chat box moving. What else have you learned as a result of today? Come on. Jackie's going to buy the book. Karen has left the call, but she said that she's going to read the rest of the book. I mean, people are just so inspired in that. You are changing lives. You are a life changer. Come on, let's support our sister. Adesina says, No more action should follow intentions. Great. Janet says, do away with credit cards. I'm with you on that. Isabel says, set goals. I mean, the chat box is just blowing up. I can't even read all the
There's a lot of messages.
Increase her savings. Courageous says that she's going to purchase the book as well. Come on, let's keep this going. Tina says, no more procrastination. Victoria says she's purchased the book on Kindle. And Leanne says that she's left her review. I just want to say, everybody, Jackie says, can I get the video? She joined late. Edem said, I will leave a review. Kemi says she's left her review. Well done. Naomi says she's going to pay herself more. And Isabel says she's going to take more actions and she's moving faster. Wow, wow, wow. Liz says, would like the audio of the book. And Abby says he's writing his review as we speak. Wow, wow, wow. This is just so amazing. Leanne says she's so fired up after spending her evening with us virtually. And she's just saying, thank you. Thank you, Leanne, for sharing us your story and for giving us some inspiration and just encouraging us. Tunde says, I think, Annette, you need to create your 90-day program to help people learn more about investing, and you need to turn the book into a course. I believe that that is one of Annette's goals, and I believe that that course is going to come soon. We know that people are loving it. I'm loving it. You're loving it. We're all loving it. The Christian Millionaire Book Club has sent out the link again to the audio of the book. Christina's giving a clap, clap, clap. And Priscilla has agreed. So well done, everybody that's purchased the book. Isabel is so inspired. Her children is going to learn from this. We are all going to learn from this. My glam children are going to learn from this. We are all going to learn from Annette and everybody that I spoke today. Thank you so much, Daryl. And thank you so much, Leanne. And thank you so much to Barbara, who read the audio version of the book. And thank you to Priscilla that read her poem. This is just so great. Leanne says, great advice, Tunde. I want you to help me publish my book when you're ready. You made Annette's book look fantastic. So we are all helping each other, and as a result we are just keeping it in their family. So well done, everybody. I hope you you have taken away so much information. I hope you've written it down. I hope you didn't just hear it. I hope you're actually going to apply it in your lives, and your life will never be the same again. Thank you all for coming, and over to you, Annette.
Okay, yeah, I just want to say a big thanks to Tunji. I haven't got his surname, but he runs a company called Accelerated Authors. Pastor Tunji, please post your details. He literally allowed me to he did the book cover design, they did the proofreading. They literally turned the book from an idea in my head into reality, and he works so quickly. He also helps people to produce their book in 90 days. So if you do have, we all have a book in us. If you do need assistance, please check out Tunji, and he runs the company Accelerated Authors, and you will find them on Google. So I will just
Annette, do you want me to carry on, and then I'll hand over to you to talk about the workshops? Yep. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Carol, for hyping us up. I hope that you're not just hyped up not to do anything, but you're hyped to take action. So please, I can still see, Carol, we still have some people who have not yet bought the book, because I can see that there are some news missing. Please buy your book. Don't leave here tonight without buying your book. Annette is so kind. She doesn't want us to just leave this book launch tonight with, you know, we've gained so much, but she wants to give us more food for thought. So she's given us further useful reading material. That's how generous she is. So please take note of this book, The Richest Man in Babylon. There's even a free PDF copy, and wants to encourage all of you, if you've not read the book, to read it. She also recommends Rich Dad, Poor Dad. These are life-changing books. Get your copy if you've not yet read the book. My goodness. I just want to encourage those of you who are not members of Annette and Carol's Rapid Wealth Building Forum to get on board tonight. Carol or Annette, please put the link to Saver to Investor in the chat. They have a free, I said the word free, 30-day trial. You can literally get on their platform and you will learn how to improve your money mindset. You will learn how to save. You will gain and build additional streams of income. You will learn how to eliminate debt. They will give you introduction to stocks and shares investing. You will learn how to build your net worth. You will learn how to buy your first home and property investing. In fact, this week on Monday, they began talking about property investing and getting your first home. Okay, you will learn how to build up your credit score. You will get regular tasks and activities. You will have a monthly accountability group session where you will be monitored, your progress will be monitored, and you'll be encouraged to achieve your goals. And above all, you will be surrounded by like-minded people. It's a free 30-day trial. If after the trial you decide you love it because it's too good, you don't want to leave, it's only £15. I mean, is that good or is that good? So please, Carol and Annette, put the link in the chat so that those who are not yet part of the Rapid Wealth Building Forum can sign up tonight. Don't just take the knowledge you've gained tonight and, sleep over it and tomorrow go back to normal. Be part of a community where you're encouraged on a daily basis to save as well as to become an investor. All right. And then Annette, do you want to talk about the 2 workshops that you've got coming up, yourself and Adam?
Sure. So guys, Adam, he's a financial advisor. He's the gentleman that I work with. He's an independent financial advisor, so he's in a position to advise you from a perspective that is in your best interest. Sometimes when financial advisors work with particular companies, they have a bias towards their own products, whereas Adam is independent, so he doesn't have that bias. So the first workshop we have coming up soon on Thursday, the 21st of January, is money management and an introduction to investing. So on this course, it's all about, learning what it takes to invest, where to invest, how to invest, but also, so that we give you an introduction into that. But the main emphasis here is on money management. So we go into detail in terms of what's a, wealth mindset, how you can start saving these thousands of pounds a year, paying down that debt, improving your credit score, building net worth, and then getting you to the point where you can begin investing. So guys, remember how much Daisy made in comparison to Ken, because she refused to procrastinate. And Daryl mentioned, the importance of not procrastinating. So if this is something that you need, please message me direct. The link is on Eventbrite. Perhaps I can post it into the chat. It's just that there's so many links in the chat now. I don't want to overwhelm you all. So if you are interested, message me direct and I could just perhaps message you the link direct. So that is for the bargain price of £24.99. So on that course, you literally get everything you need to be able to, start saving money and begin to put the foundations in place so that you can become an investor and start working towards financial freedom. And blessing, because we're on your screen, can I just go to the next slide if that's okay? So then this, guys, is an investment workshop that could change your life. This is run by Adam, the financial advisor I just mentioned. So in this workshop taking place on Wednesday, the 27th of January, he will show you how to build an investment portfolio and how to avoid losses. He'll help you set financial goals and develop an effective investment plan around them. So depending on your income or whether you have children or you don't have children, your financial goals will be different. He will show you how to turn 10% of your income into a new amazing source of passive income. Some of you may be in a position to put down more. That just means you're going to accelerate your wealth quicker if you can put in more than 10%. He's going to show you where to invest your money. Different platforms charge different prices. in terms of their management fees. They also charge different prices in terms of how much it costs to trade on there. So he will explain to you the different platforms and the products that they offer and just make it as cost effective for you as possible. And yeah, he'll show you how to cut taxes. Financial advisors are really good at this. Companies hire them, individuals hire them. Their job is to literally reduce your tax bill and then accelerate your investments. So if that sounds like, if that's up your street and if that's something you need to learn right now, get in touch with me and yes, sign up for that course. The link again is on Eventbrite. I can post it into the chat, but like I said, there's so many links into the chat now. So please just message me direct and I will send you the link. And then literally just a closing comments, guys. I want to thank you all for coming onto the call. Remember, guys, your wealth can only expand at the rate you expand your ability to manage it. So that means then you have to invest in yourself. So we've mentioned 2 books you can read. The Richest Man in Babylon, that's for money management, and Rich Dad, Poor Dad, if you just want to come out of that rat race mindset and start figuring out how to get money working for you and get a wealth mindset. That's an excellent book to read. So guys, you have to do something different to get different results. I hope you have been blessed by this session. I want everybody on this call to increase their net worth by at least £2,000, even if that just means you've paid down your debt by £2,000, but hopefully it's actually increasing your wealth through savings and investments. Before you can become an investor, you need to know how to manage your finances. All the literacy is in this book, and it's more than 10 years of experience, plus about 2 years worth of teaching experience. And $12.99, guys, for financial freedom that has the capacity to generate thousands of pounds a year, provided you take action. Here are my contact details if you do want to get in touch. So you can, here's my website, www.savertoinvestors.com. You can sign up for the free trial there or take a budgeting sheet. You can contact me on my email at info@savertoinvestors.com, Instagram, savertoinvestor, and there's my mobile phone number. So guys, I just want to thank you all for attending today. And yes, I do hope to receive your testimonials, and it would be great to see some of you on the Rapid Wealth Building platform or at those the money management workshop or the investment workshop taking place later on this month.
Fantastic. Wow. Annette, thank you. Tonight has been life-changing. I'm sure, Annette, so many people tonight have been so blessed. I have been blessed. I've been inspired. I mean, to tell you, Annette, I never considered buying an island, but tonight I thought that was just for Richard
I'm
Branson.
my island, definitely, and a private jet to go with it. But all within reason, guys. All within my budgeting model.
So we must make sure we seek Saver to Investor approval that it's value for money before we buy it. Okay,
Literally.
Everybody, on behalf of Annette Galloway, author of How to Save £10,000 on a Low Income, we just want to say thank you. Thank you for supporting our sister at this important book launch. And we just want to say thank you because you could be elsewhere doing other things, but you've chosen to be here tonight. So thank you. Thank you to Darrow once again. Thank you to those who heard. Thank you to Dr. Liana. Thank you to Barbara. Thank you to Priscilla. I personally want to thank all the Christian Millionaire Book Club members who are here, who have rooted for you, Annette. And Annette, all your friends and family are here. We just want to say we love you. We're so proud of you. Well done. And I think somebody said earlier, Annette, we know this is just the beginning. You're going to go so far. You're going to go so high. So we're just here to back you up and to support you. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's make Annette Galloway a best-selling author. Let's not just buy the books for ourselves. Let's buy it for others. Let's leave reviews. Let this book go global because her vision is to get 100,000 families in the UK saving. She can't do it on her own. She needs support. That's why we are a community. So let's support our sister tonight. If anybody wants to stay behind to just congratulate Annette, I'm sure you'll be willing to stay behind and say
sure. And if anybody's
hi to everybody.
Sorry guys, there's a lot of messages running through the chat. So if anybody wants to speak to me afterwards, please stay behind. I'm trying to answer them, but yeah, there are quite a few that I have to go through, and yeah, or just get in touch with me, and yeah, I'll answer any queries that you have.
Excellent. And just to say, I'm putting the link in the chat one more time. So please, those of you who have not got the book, just buy it. And I'm putting in the link for the review. Do it tonight. Don't wait till tomorrow. Thank you so much. And remember to join the Rapid World Building platform. So thank you and good night. God bless you all. Good night.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for your
Bye.
attendance.
Bye.
Good
Well done.
night.
Well
Bye,
done.
everyone. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Thank you,
Bye.
Mom.
God bless.
Annette. Well
Bye.
done,
Thank you,
well
Daryl.
done.
That was amazing.
Pastor Tunji, bye,
Yep.
everybody.
Bye
Oh,
bye,
wow.
Barbara. Thank you.
Daryl, you're the man. But you know that, right?
Are you
Bye,
single?
guys. Well done, Annette.
Bye. I'm
Awesome.
gonna have to leave, Annette, but well done. Love you. Well
Thank
done.
you, bless her.
Okay.
Thanks for your
All
help.
right.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
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 Daryl?
Yes, Barbara.
Yeah, I've got 4 young men that I've been speaking to on a platform I managed to get. Can you imagine, teenagers? I minister to them. And I'm going to be meeting them on Thursday. They've agreed to meet with me on a Zoom call. Could you spend 3 minutes of your time to speak into their lives, please?